And there's lighting coming out of the hole, and it reflects on the tentacle, while left to it is dark, and as a result it isn't nearly as reflective on that side. And when the tentacle appears to the humans, it is even perfectly transparent, where there's lightning shining on it, and it moves more heavily as it is larger. And there are more curves in the water as it moves more. And when it turns to Lindsay, it is very moving as it is twisting, and when we see a side of it in the mild dark, it has a lot of shadowy reflections and dark curves, like water in Croatia in a summer evening. Yeah, I've been to Croatia. It was wonderful. Really nice weather, really relaxed. I slept in a tent there because, I like more the living on a camping place. It's nicer. You're closer to the beach often. And it isn't nearly as expensive as a hotel, but not that I'm cheap or anything. But it was a lot of fun, You had very warm weather. You could lay in the hot sand. It was a lot of fun. And I was there with my sister. It was fun to do stuff with her. And no, she's not dead or anything. It wasn't tragic. It was just a fun summer. And then when it relaxes in front of Lindsay, it is more calm and it's more flexible fluid and a more fluent form. And oh my god, I've not made a penis or a wet joke about this. Whoa, no, I'm still happy though, this effect is so brilliant. But then it very naturally looks like controlled water, and it takes the shape of Lindsay's face, and we see it smiles and sticks out its tongue, and then it takes on the form of a regular tentacle and moves back again, and it even takes on Virgil's face, and the likeness is seamless, and it is really three-dimensional, and in the foreground, CGI moving water, completely unlike in real life, completely alien. Really like moving fluent water, and the actors' performance and reactions help sell this even better. They look totally surprised at it, and they move backwards exactly when the tentacle approaches them, and Lindsay really knows where to stick her finger. I'm a teenager, she knows where to stick her. What? Come on, I'm not. Every man right now is correct. That's what she said. Sorry, but yeah, that's what that was just meant. Let's just agree not to discuss this anymore. And there's even a water tentacle. There's even water on her finger after she takes it out of the tentacle, and her touching it creates curves. It is more stable and it moves backwards, and there are longer circles in the water when it moves towards the bomb because it stretches itself out. And when Coffee sees it, it is large and therefore has larger curves, and it looks darker blue due to there being less light. And to make it even more complex and realistic, if he actually closes the door in the middle of the tentacle, severing it in half, and it really looks like the door moves through the water, and then we see it fall on the ground and onto the characters, really seamlessly transitioning to real water. And then the other part of the tentacle moves upwards and quickly turns as it tries to keep its shape and moves back into the water. Although there had already been realistic CGI before this, in first Young Sherlock Holmes and then Empire of the Sun, it was simple and in the background. This film really changed and innovated the film industry, special visual effects and CGI forever, by allowing it to be used for realistic, complex forefront special visual effects. And after Episode 6, Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, and Indiana Jones The Last Crusade, George Lucas took a hiatus, waiting for special visual effects to advance enough and for him to tell his more ambitious stories. Yes, I'm getting incredibly excited and overly hyped here, I've got to write, don't judge me. And CGI, okay, no, I'm just getting really excited. I just loved it so much. And CGI made it possible, and it having grown immensely allowed him to, in 1999, use it excessively, which was a brilliant move, and use it brilliantly to tell a brilliant story and make the brilliant, fantastic Star Wars prequels he had always planned to make. That development of CGI from 1989 to 1999 was started shortly after Last Crusade, ironically, by The Abyss, and although T2 allowed it to be used more excessively, it was The Abyss that created the technology that was an even bigger milestone overall than the liquid metal Terminator in T2. A lot of people credit Terminator 2 for innovating CGI, but it is this film that was the breakthrough for CGI, as it appeared three-dimensionally in the forefront in this for a longer period of time. Later films just took it further. T2 did it more extensively, and that the same can be applied to Jurassic Park, which did it in more complex and organic ways. But this film is what made it possible. This is the breakthrough film that made the modern use of CGI possible. These special visual effects were brilliantly innovative and looked brilliant and fresh back then, and they are still fantastic now. And they aren't just good now, they are just still great. The special visual effects were incredibly innovative and furthered technological advancements and changed filmmaking forever. And they would be taken an order of magnitude farther in Terminator 2 Judgment Day, further mastered in Death Becomes Her, then taken into another realm in Jurassic Park, then in Forrest Gump they were mastered further, then in Mission Impossible they were expanded more, then in Men in Black they would be taken into new waters, and then Titanic further enlarged it. Then in Saving Private Ryan they were taken another level up, and then in Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace they were perfectionized. And they took filmmaking into the modern age and made CGI and primary special visual effects, and added a whole new aspect to filmmaking that was only great. Without these special visual effects, there would have been no Matrix trilogy, Lord of the Rings trilogy, no Spider-Man series, no X-Men films or Iron Man films, Men in Black, Pirates of the Caribbean, anything. These special visual effects were completely new back then, and they were amazing then, and are not just great now, but still amazing. And this special visual effect specifically is one of the most important in all of filmmaking, as it is responsible for how almost all great films nowadays look, and caused a whole new aspect of filmmaking to develop. Also, Rotten Tomatoes reviewers said the stunning special visual effects aren't well integrated into the story, and Captain Logan said nobody remembers the innovation of this effect the way they do in Terminator 2 because of how well it was used in Terminator 2 Judgment Day to tell a deep story and convey meaningful themes, and said this was similar to how well the special visual effects were used in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Now, I agree with the praise for both of those brilliant masterpieces, and Captain Logan Rewinds United on Terminator 2 Judgment Day as well as on Who Framed Roger Rabbit are some of my favorite reviews of him, as he's a great reviewer, and these were especially great. But this special visual effect of the CGI water tentacle is brilliantly used to further the story, characters and themes. The water tentacle shows what the aliens are capable of and how they have emotion and curiosity like humans. And it shows how aliens act on a very emotional level and are trying to make contact, that they are open, and that unlike in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, it cannot only be peaceful but reassuring, and that we have a lot to learn from the aliens. It furthers the story, showing the characters be confirmed they are aliens, and that we also see them learn of human nukes. We see Goffy get scared by them, and it causes Lindsay to develop an optimistic view of the aliens, and Virgil to support her more, and it helps convey the themes of curiosity and kindness being a virtue that many sentient beings could have, and that it is possible to have a positive relationship with them, but that humans like Goffy can get paranoid and think in war terms, making this difficult as he tries to hurt them. So this effect was incredibly integral to the narrative and used incredibly well. Also, the opening submarine looked rough and had real influence on the water, and it had mass. The endless water really looked deep and fluid, and the explosions looked three-dimensional. The rocks detailed, and the flooding really looked like it has enough pressure to be so deep, and the submarine moves with size, and the floodings are huge and epic. No, I'm not gonna make a flooding joke again. It was gonna happen at some point, but this time it's not gonna happen. I'm really trying here. Large flood. Look, it was gonna happen at some point. Now you should be glad I did not. You ungrateful bastard. No, really, you bastard. I conceived you with your mom while she already had married someone else. So you suck. And the explosions looked three-dimensional, and that overrated nonsense article again claimed the crash and flooding sequences would still be average by today's standards. And I don't see how. They were epic three-dimensional and numerous, like with the CGI. How is this bad? And the CGI in T2 good? And how are the explosions in Aliens good, but the opening in this bad? And the flooding sequences. The opening uses pyrotechnics, models, and stunts all very well. The rig looks detailed and has harsh metal and size and mass. The underwater really looks dark, and there really seems to be pressure. The sub Lindsay is in moves with size and mass, and it is three-dimensional, and One Night Sub even has windows, so we see the actors detailedly composited within large models, which is also complex and epic. The underwater is endless. The rock surface looks harsh, the cliffs look endless and real and epic and have size and mass, and the going down into the sub is crucial to discover the nukes, so it furthered the story, and the machines really moved fluently. The sinks of the subs looks detailed and like harsh metal, and the storm really has force and it is heavy and huge. The cables look stern and movable. The crashing crane is detailed and seems to have size a mass. The glass looks complex. The explosions and crashing doors have force. The flooding is large. The rocks are and rig really look rough and sterile, and the water really feels fluid, and the explosions really are fiery, and the electric explosions on the sub crashing look detailed, and the gunfire is detailed. The crashing sub parts really looks stern, and the exploding subs really look forceful. The air bubbles look natural, and we even have a cutaway shot from Coffee seeing through the window, and then a large shot of the overall rig with him combusted in, and the whole background, which was just going the extra mile, showing the actors from the sets interacting with the larger models and moving seamlessly, and showing how alone and depressed he was, even adding to the story as well. And the alien's ship really looked moist, organic, and epic, and the imploding machinery when Virgil went down looked natural and had Virgil find the aliens and learn of their plans, and the water slitting really had reflections and looked moist, and the TV reflections on it looked natural, and the waves were epic, and people complained the aliens looked fake, but they look three-dimensional, transparent, and the aliens' movement seems unnatural. They seem to have organic skin and movement and most eyes, and the other water scene led to Virgil seeing the aliens wanted to help us and caused him to learn of our threat of self-destruction, and the meeting with the aliens changed Lindsay's perspective and caused her to trust Virgil more and made Coffee paranoid. So God damn it. Oh wait, I'm a Catholic, so Mary damn it. I still have to do the soundtrack. Well, because Bob, for once, did not cut back on the budget and spend money that is intended for his handicapped wife. He instead used it on this film. Due to that, the sound is great. There are a lot of heavy metal sounds adding to the claustrophobic and hard feeling, but the underwater sound can be fluent and relaxed, adding to an intellectual feeling, and the spiritual side is further conveyed as well. And the music is fantastic. It is very mystical and epic, and can be disturbing, but also magical and operatic. It can really have drum-based and suspenseful music, and also be dramatic and exciting, and be suspenseful by being high-pitched and very silent. And it can be emotional and playful, and it also has a thriller drum beat when they descend. It is a great homage to the suspense thriller drum beats in the opening of Alien. So The Abyss is a wonderful masterpiece with smart plots as well as characterizations that add to the emotional side, deep themes and philosophy that give it all meaning, and combine many wonderful genres. It is a technical marvel on all levels and used this along with great acting to convey deep substance and had wonderful dialogue. The film made $90 million worldwide, making a noticeable strong profit for its high $70 million budget, but it wasn't a smashing success, but it still did very well for its high budget and was successful enough to be remembered well by James Cameron, and it also did incredibly well in home media sales as well as rentals, and the special edition even further improved this, and it got great although flawed critical reviews, and although these became less over time, they became even more thanks to the special edition, with now 88% of Rotten Tomatoes. With the consensus, the utterly gorgeous special visual effects frequently overshadowed the fact that The Abyss is also a totally gripping claustrophobic thriller, complete with an interesting crew of characters, and it has a 7.6 on IMDb. It got great audience reactions, with 78% of Rotten Tomatoes as audience ratings, a big fan base, and had a strong reputation, although a flawed one, as being a more flawed Cameron film, but this grew over time also, and now it's considered incredibly great. So it was deservedly praised, but it should get even more praise, and I urge people to see it and give it very positive reviews. And if you do not listen, well then to hell with you! And this includes you, Mary. The film gets a 10+. It was very well made, an outstanding masterpiece, and it got mostly a fair reaction for all of its praise, but it was underrated in total actually, because it deserves even more praise, and the special edition was a wonderful version. Thanks for watching, see you next time.